Oh, there's like an actual...
Oh shit!
Where
Do
are we
we have
starting?
the section where she gets it from the mailbox?
The start of the mail things for everybody is on the other dock.
Oh god, I gotta get that one up again.
Hold on, I got it.
God damn it, Discord. It's on
Howling at the
page.
There you go. It's in the same spot. That's where the
is
start of the mail things for everybody is. So.
Alright.
Okay.
Give me a second, I gotta scroll down to it.
Okay, Penguin.
Batman! Give me back my soup.
It's not your soup.
Damn it, Batman, it's my soup!
Come on.
At least let me have the oyster crackers, Batman!
Okay, fine.
Oh goddamn.
Best part is dipping the oyster crackers in the soup.
Yeah, yes, we'll all be fine. Fine, Mr. Batman. We're sitting on a oyster crackers because being Captain Gotham Bank. We shall steal it.
When we're ready.
I'm ready. Fucking it up.
I'm ready whenever we're starting at.
Virka is only visiting the mailroom to send a letter home, and they'll probably have to scroll down a bit.
Okay. Gonna start with the narrative part.
Oh, yeah, we gotta start with that. Are we recording?
Recording.
Okay. It suddenly dawns on the party that they haven't checked their mail in a long while.
Virka is only visiting the mailroom now to send a letter home, quiet as she usually is.
And while trying to scroll down, I accidentally scrolled up somehow. There we are.
Good job.
When Virka goes to send the letter, she discovers that, much to her surprise, there is a slip in her mailbox claiming she has a package that is too large for the mail bin, which she must claim from the front desk.
For maybe the 1000th time this week, the kobold looks very confused, even more awkwardly shy. She heads up to the front desk.
The resident running the front desk is a young human, probably less than 20 years of age. She looks visibly exhausted, as if sleep is but a distant memory in her life. She sees Virka's slip and nods. About time you picked this up. It's been sitting here for days.
Oh, I'm sorry. Try not to send the letter home every day. She shifts her wings a little bit and pulls them close to her back. How big is it?
The president lifts up a package that's 3 feet wide and 2.5 feet tall. This big. Ah, sweet! My bike is here! Boone says inside Virka's head.
How? Virka tries to keep blurting out that one out loud, awkwardly grabbing the package to haul it back to her room.
There was a catalog! And I think we go over to the other document by this point.
I think so.
Because all the other parts are in Howard's thing and all that. We're just gonna Batman wipe to it. Meanwhile, the bike.
Once back to her dorm, Virka eyes the package before starting to open it, still overly confused on how Boone ordered a bike without her knowing.
So, you want to put this together?
I guess. Do you know how to put it together? She asked while pulling pieces of the box and laying them out on the dorm floor.
Well, I assume there's instructions. But even if not, how hard can it be? 2 wheels, something between them, boom. Bicycle.
Isn't there more than just something between them? Virka doesn't seem to notice or care that she's talking out loud while looking over the pieces, rather unhelpful sheet of paper with some pictures and parts.
There is, in fact, significantly more than just something between them. That's more parts than I expected. Neat! More to do, then! At first, the task seems impossible. The directions are bafflingly vague, the instructions not very helpful, with the myriad of parts on display. But then Virka feels something shift ever so slightly in her vision. The parts begin to glow ever so faintly, each with a different yet distinct color. So too do the illustrations in the parchment. The glow pulses around each part, and slowly shuts off one by one. The first part needed in the instructions glows again, and so too does its illustration. Does this help?
Oh, yes, it does. A lot. Virka blinks her eyes a few times, feeling a bit awkwardly aware Boone has some control over parts of her body before quickly distracting herself by working the first two pieces together.
Slowly, step by step, Virka and Boone assemble the bike. At times, parts need to be moved in a certain way that the instructions fail to make clear, but once again, the glowing lights aid her, moving in the manner the respective part must move. It takes roughly 37 minutes, but eventually the pair finish the job, creating a sturdy and functional bicycle. I didn't expect both wheels to be on the ground. How's it supposed to go up walls this way?
I don't think it's supposed to. Unless I grow gecko toes, physics won't let me go up walls.
I'm gonna have to think on it. We can improve this. I mean, it's good, but it could be so much better, you know?
I suppose so. So, how do you ride a bike?
Oh, that's the best part! Whole reason I wanted one, actually. It's all about balance. I know almost nothing about balance, so I really wanted to give it a try. So basically, you gotta sit on that little seat part, and then reach the pedals, those little things down there with your feet.
I guess we should try this outside. With that, Virka pushes the bike by the handles out into the hall and outside to the courtyard. Seemed to be a large enough space.
Oh yeah, plenty of space! Once we get going, you can really cut loose. Now, when you get on, keep one foot on the ground. It's supposed to take a while before we find our balance, and you don't want to fall.
Okay. Virka glances about, thankful the courtyard is mostly empty, before climbing onto the bike, putting one foot on a pedal and one on the ground. Okay, so now what?
Okay, do you feel centered? I've never been symmetrical, so I'm not sure exactly how that works, but we have to be as close to symmetrical and centered as we can be. Weight has to be evenly distributed on both sides.
Pretty symmetrical. It's not like I'm missing any toes.
Okay, good. So now, slowly lift your foot off the ground and put it on the pedal.
Virka shifted, trying to balance herself while lifting one foot and putting it on the pedal. She was upright for about maybe a second or two before letting out a squeak and falling over to the side.
Whip! A split second before coming in contact with the ground, Virka's body suspends in midair. As she looks out the corner of her eye, she sees a thin tendril of inky black flesh, no thicker than a toothpick, extending from behind her neck to the ground itself. The tendril slowly pushes Virka and the bike back up, holding them straight and steady. Okay, it's okay. I've got you. Try again.
Still going to take some getting used to. I've got to push the pedals to move, right? Trying to ignore the fact that the weird black tendril is stemming from her body.
Right. You sort of spin them with your feet. You hear a second thwip as a second tendril, just as noticeably thin as the first, extends and touches the ground from the other side of the bike. I'll hold us steady for now, but try to be as centered as possible. Balance is key.
The nod, the kobold tries again, trying to keep her balance without putting more pressure on one side than the other, before starting to push the pedals, taking a second to get the hang of it, and would have probably fallen over again without Boone's help.
The ride's a bit wobbly at first, the bike swaying from side to side but never fully falling over. But Virka keeps spinning the pedals, and soon the wind is rushing past her scales as she speeds around the courtyard. The feeling is indescribable. Even when flying, she had never gone this fast on her own. She completes one lap around the yard, then another, increasing in speed all the while. By the time exhaustion hits, Virka's bike has practically gouged an entire trail on the surface of the ground. Virka looks for Boone's tendrils when she pulls up to a stop the ride, but they're nowhere to be seen. Only then does she realize Boone's voice in the back of her head, flooding her with positive endorphins as he squeals gleefully, "Balance! We felt balance! We were centered! We were poised! We were in sync! Balance! I've never felt that before."
Virka can't help but laugh. She nods to herself while stopping, keeping one foot on the ground. Yeah, that was really awesome. Her wings even flap a little. Not enough to lift herself off the ground, but enough to expend more of the excess energy and excitement.
It's impossible without it. The bike falls if we don't have it, and we had it, and I've never been so fixed, so constant. What a rush! I was at one of myself for the first time ever. Wasn't it amazing? Wasn't it marvelous? Couldn't you just wow?
It was incredible, but I think most of that was you.
Nope. I let go before we finished the first lap. You're the symmetrical one. You said so yourself. I figured if it's going to happen, you'd pick it up before I could. I just needed to help you get started. And then, then we were so centered. Balance.
It's so odd that you find balance exciting. Most find it relaxing.
I can see that, but relaxing is new too. It's sort of like death, but it lasts longer and isn't filled with shrieking and snapping. Boone's quiet for a moment. Your world has so many wonders. I can barely wrap my mind around them. Everything is so astounding. It's static in a sense, but even at its steady pace, I struggle to absorb it all. It's like it has to be slow so you can process it. It's so... I don't have words for it. In your tongue or in mine, no words. I'm so grateful I got to experience this. Thank you for letting me stay here, even if it's just for a little while.
I don't think I have a choice, but it's nice. It's fun to have you around in a really weird way.
You will at some point. Have a choice, I mean. Then we'll part forever. It's a fleeting thing, this partnership. I'm trying to savor it. In time, it'll be a distant memory, fuzzy, hard to recognize. But so far, it's a pleasant one.
Well, not forever, but I do believe if you leave, I die. Though, I guess my lifetime would be short for you.
If I'd left now, yes, yeah, you would pass to the next life. But that won't be the case forever. You're rebuilding. Not quite naturally, you know, I've had to give some of your systems a kick to the proverbial pants, but slowly, surely, you're rebuilding. There won't be room for me eventually.
Virka frowned a bit. I see. Well, we'll have to try out all sorts of fun things while you're here.
Yeah! We don't have a lot of time in the grand scheme of things, so there's so much we still have to try. Balance. Never thought I'd know balance. Wow. I didn't control your body while you were asleep, if that's what you're wondering.
And how did you order a bike? I'm so very curious.
Well, I saw a magazine ad, and I thought, well, that looks amazing. I need to check that out. But that wasn't possible without violating our agreement, making for something of a conundrum. So I figured, hey, why not just alter the fabric of creation so as a pre-filled version of the form exists already, popping into the mail system at the appropriate moment. Now, I can't do that from here, but I think if I think about it real hard, I'll remember to do it when I get back home, as soon as the right top part of the timeline flows through the waves of causality in the sea of chaos. So as long as I remember to do that, everything's easy peasy. Of course, if I forget to do that, then we have a paradox, but the bike is here, so I'm pretty sure we avoided that. Pretty sure. 80%.
Okay. I'm going to say I understand that, and I trust you on that.
Sounds good. Want to give the bike another spin?
Sure! Virka this time seems to fully grasp the way it's done, getting started and making more laps around the courtyard.
It took several more laps, and for the first time, Virka and Boone were truly in sync. They were, in a word, balanced.
Yay!